Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Pop-Up Studio. It's me, Matthew Reinhardt. I'm a pop-up book creator, children's book author, and illustrator, and I want to welcome you to my channel. Well, this month for me is Dinosaur Month, okay? So we love dinosaurs, everyone here in the studio. I love dinosaurs growing up. You know, it was just like, they were my favorites. So I thought we'd make a bunch of dinosaur crafts this entire month. We got some cool stuff planned. We got complicated stuff. We got easier stuff, you know, all kinds of different things. But today we're going to make a really cool dinosaur papercraft. It's probably the most awesome thing I've ever created here. It is a dinosaur T-Rex marionette. Look at this thing. I love puppets. And so this T-Rex, look at that, And you can move it and its jaw opens and closes. Look at that. And the legs move. So, ooh, this leg is kind of wonky here. So anyways, we are gonna make our very own T-Rex papercraft marionette. And hello, how are you? So we're gonna make our very own. Now there's a template down below. You don't have to do this from scratch. I've got it all ready for you. So down below, you're gonna download the template. Okay, they're PDFs, and you're gonna print them out onto cardstock. You'll probably need 5 or 6 pieces of cardstock, and then you're going to cut out all the pieces, and I'll take you through the whole assembly, to everything. So let's get started making our T-Rex marionette. How about that? That would be great. All right, so what do we do first? We print out the templates, and you'll need cardstock. You can use any color you like, and we'll print out the templates. So there's a link down below. And what do we do when we first start out with our templates? We cut them out and we score them. So we use knitting needle or a big paper clip to do the scoring. You know, we press it. We press along all those dotted black lines. And then when we're doing the cutting, we follow along all the solid black lines. So that's where we cut. So there's going to be some intricate stuff here going on. So take your time. You can use scissors, but I would advise using an X-Acto knife. Just be very careful when you're cutting. Don't cut your fingers. Cut out all the pieces, and then we'll get to assembling. So let's get to work. Now, after you've cut out all these pieces, look, it looks like a jumble of bones, right? It looks like we just got all these guys out of the ground, all these bones. You're gonna pre-fold along all of the fold lines, okay? And it doesn't matter which way you fold them. We just wanna make sure they all can fold. We just sort of loosen up those paper fibers in the paper. All right, let's get started. Let's start with this piece. You can see this piece here. You can kind of see the head that's split, and there's a little tab on the front part of the skull of the dinosaur. So this is tab M, and we're gonna glue it. We're gonna fold it back like this. And I think what we'll do is we'll assemble this so that the actual die lines that we've made, the template lines, we're not gonna see them. So we're gonna fold it this way, and see that little gray area? That's where that tab glues, just like that. So that's tab M. We're gonna glue it into place right there. That's the snout of the T-Rex. Isn't that nice? And we're gonna hold it for a second. Now let's glue on, this is the lower jaw of the T-Rex. And we're gonna glue tab C. This is tab C right here. We're gonna glue it to the head. And we just put a little glue on this weird shape. It kind of is shaped like an E. Or an F, and see how it glues? See, it glues to the back of the T-Rex skull, just like that. And there's a little gray area on the templates that say, glue me here. So we glue that right there in place, and you're gonna hold it down, and then you're gonna do the same for the opposite side. So see that area there? And I've got some glue there. Now don't over glue. You know what happens when you over glue. You got glue everywhere with giant puddles of glue and everything's stuck to each other. Just be, kind of painted on in place. Sometimes you'll put a little too much. All right, next, we're gonna glue this. This is the jaw, the lower jaw, and this little tab here, we're gonna glue it. This is tab D, and it's gonna connect the lower jaw together. Look at that. So now, snap, 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 yummy, yummy. So now we got the top of the head. All right, now we're gonna put the main body away, and we're gonna glue the pelvis and the tail together. It's tab A. We're gonna glue it right there. See this big piece? It's a big area, and we're gonna glue the tail on. It's pretty easy. And what we did was we made some really nice sort of key-in spots. So it's really obvious where that goes. So that's where the tail goes. Let it sit and dry. We're gonna press it down. All right, look at that, beautiful. And now we're gonna glue, this is the upper body. See, that's tab E and tab E. We're gonna glue it to itself. So we're gonna put a little glue right in there. That's gonna be sort of the spine of the T-Rex. And then what happens is, see, it says glue tab E here. So we're gonna kind of fit this piece, the main pelvis and sort of backbone, we're going to fit that underneath on this E area, and then we're going to fold it over that. So now it makes it nice and strong. So that's the back of our T-Rex skeleton. Kind of sandwiched it in. I'm kind of hungry. All right, now see this little tab here? Tab P. Tab P glues to itself. That's kind of going to give it some strength. See, it's tab P. We're going to put some glue just on this side and glue it over and fold over onto itself. And then this little edge here, this little area here, this is tab O. And we're going to glue this to the body. See it's how it's sort of folded in half? And we're going to fold it down. Like, see how that? We're going to fold it up. Since we have that in place, we're going to let that dry. Now we're gluing this. This is tab F. And we're going to glue tab F to another piece. Just put a little glue right in that shape. It's going to be a hip bone. And see how it glues right there on the side of the body? Which is really nice. We got one more that goes on the opposite side. We're going to do the same thing. So it's going to glue just in place like that on the other side. And you can see that hole that lines up. All right, now this is going to be a little, see this tab G? We're going to put some glue just like this, and you're going to see a shape that it goes and fits onto below. This is going to make a little loop for our T-Rex back legs. So watch, see this? See, it kind of pushes up and glues right in place. See that loop that it makes? That loop is what we're going to loop the legs when they move so that they're articulated. So see that piece right there? We're going to glue this little tab right here. And this is just kind of stabilizing our little loop. So both of them glue back onto themselves. And we're just going to hold them into place. Pinch it. And see how that makes that nice loop? So that is where we're going to hook the T-Rex legs later on when we're assembling it. So that's one side. But we need the other side assembled too. So we're going to quickly do that same thing. So you can see it's just the same thing, only on the opposite side. We're going to do, the loopy thing and make sure that the bottom part of the pelvis is glued in. And then there's a little loop and little tabs. Look at that. We did it. Okay. So now we've got a good connection point for our T-Rex legs. So now let's get these legs going. So we got there's a number of different pieces that all go together. Let's see. This is all of the leg pieces. So let's get started with this one. So that's the foot piece. And what we're going to do is, see how it's kind of curved there? So we're going to curve it. What we need to do is kind of loop it under. See how it goes under like that? I'm going to curve it over. And watch. See these two tabs here? This should be tab K. Watch. And it's going to glue right in place. See that shape? It fits exactly there. So that's like the inside of the foot. So the reason why we're making a foot kind of like this is we want to give it some mass, right? So see, look at this piece. It's going to glue, and that's the other one. It's going to glue on both sides. And then this part right here, that's going to be the central toe. See, and we're going to glue that toe tab right to itself, right there. And look at that. So we've got our foot. See how the 3 toes are spread out? And now, see, we've already got it looped around this piece for the ankle. Oh, and look, we could do, if you want to, let's curve those toes. Because, T-Rexes, they kind of have curved claws at the end of their toes. So you could curve it with a pencil. Look at that. I love, like, what you can do, how you can sculpt with paper. And look at that. That really looks like, ooh, it could tear up some dinosaurs. Look at that. Okay, so this is the ankle sort of loop, and it's going to curl over and loop onto itself, and see how it fits right there. That's tab B. That's going to glue in place just like that. So see, it's kind of looped onto that leg, and there's the foot that's at the end of it. And now we need to glue tabs. See, these are tab I, so we need to glue them into place. So we're going to put some glue just right here, and it's just going to fold over onto itself. Look at that. Or rather, it's going to fold over onto that shape. See, so those match up. And if you make a little mistake, you can move it around still. Just pinch it, hold it in place. This is the little kneecap. And while this one is drying, you want to hold that in place as well. So see, that just protects the kneecap of our T-Rex. And then these small tabs. So we're going to put a little glue right there. And this is just giving our dinosaur leg bones some mass, right? So we're just kind of building it up. So that's one leg that we've almost completed. Look at that. Look at that. And there's the foot that's hanging at the end because we want that articulated foot, and we're going to put a weight in that foot at the end. This right here is tab H. So they glue together. So we're just going to put some glue, put it on the end right there. That's nice. We're going to glue it onto itself. Perfect. Just like that. I'm going to pinch it. and hold it. Look at that. He's kind of got a limp ankle there, but trust me, later on, when we get the strings working, it'll be great. So that's one leg. We're going to first glue this leg into place. We're going to loop it in. Look, we're just going to thread it through that hip loop that we made. And it's just, you're going to see, obviously, we're going to glue it to itself. So these two, you ever made those paper, those like paper chains before? It's kind of like that. It's built like those paper chains that you put on like Christmas tree or something like that. So that's giving us our articulation. We want a really loose articulation for Marionette so that the legs fall really nicely when it has the string on it. Look at that. So that's one leg. And you're going to do exactly the same thing on the opposite side for the other leg. So we'll just speed through that. You guys know how to do it. You've done it once. You can rewind the video and watch me do that part. So it's always easier the second time around, right? And we're going to assemble it and add that other leg to the other side, just like we did with the one leg. Okay, now this is the shoulder bone and the little tiny T-Rex arms. Okay, so we're going to put those in place, and you're going to see an obvious place for this supposed to go, because see, the two shapes match up. So look at that. Just right there. Beautiful. And we're just going to glue it down all the way onto our rib cage here. And it's a little bit more decorative, you know? We're going to do the same for this side because we need to have the shoulder bones, right? I mean, how are the arms going to be connected to the rest of the body, right? Gotta have that. After gluing the arms on, there's a tab, see, under the rib cage here. We're going to glue this tab. See how it's folded? So we're going to fold it over onto itself. And there's a little slit on the bottom there, but first we're going to glue this part down, and this is the tab, and you're going to see that it's going to match up with the opposite side of the rib. So it's glued to the opposite side rib. Look at that. Now our rib cage is real flat right now, but we're going to sort of curve it outward, and that's what this piece is going to do. See that little piece in there? That little tab, it's called a slotted tab. It's going to go through the slot at the bottom of the rib cage. It's going to go through that slot. You're going to have to fold both sides, both wings of it. See how that goes through there? So that is the slotted tab that goes right through that slot. Sometimes it's a little hard. You got to kind of pull it so you can pull it through. It's been roughed up a bit, but you can see. And see what that's going to do is that's going to force our rib cage to be more curved like a rib cage. And then we're going to glue it down just in place because we don't want that tab just sitting there and hanging out. I mean, nobody wants that. We got this T-Rex skeleton to look really good. So it's glued down. Look at those nice curved ribs. That's really great. Now, this piece that's underneath it, that's going to be kind of for the neck, and it's going to help support the neck, and also going to help when we have all the string attached so that the jaw opens. So this is a really articulated skeleton. I mean, look at this. It's all built and all together. Now, it's a marionette. So see, look at this. When it moves its head, it opens the jaw. Isn't that cool? Okay, let's get to making the cross brace for our marionette. There's one piece that's left over that's going to be the base for the cross brace. And then there's also, we need two wooden skewers, like, you know, ones that you use for like shish kebab or something like that. We also need some like string or thicker thread or something like that. So let's take the square brace piece and we're going to thread our wooden skewer through just like that, and we're going to kind of position it like this so it's longer on one side than the other. Then we're going to thread the other skewer the opposite way, or rather underneath it, but still through those slits. And then we're going to fold over the paper, and it might be hard. You could either glue it. It's going to be a little hard to glue it and hold it in place. You could do that, or we could just use some tape. We could make like a inside out sticky roll with tape to tape it into place. So you can do either one, or you could use double stick to kind of hold it down. It doesn't matter. Now our cross brace is really sort of stabilized and sandwiched between that piece. Sandwiches again. I keep talking about food. All right, let's start cutting some string. Let's take some of this string, this little hole here in the back over his waist. We're gonna thread it through the hole and tie it very carefully and knot it into place, just like that. We're going to tie it around this area on the head. And it's kind of like at the base of the skull, and where the skull and the spine in the neck attach. So we're just going to tie it, knot it into place like that, and make sure you leave a lot of extra string on one end. Then we're going to tie string just like this on one of the legs. See how I've threaded it through? It just goes right through there. And we're going to tie it into place. And remember, like I said, leave a lot of extra string on one side because it's got to attach to the cross brace. And we're going to do the same for both legs. All right? So So tie a knot, and there we go. Now we're ready to assemble this with the cross brace. So there it is. We have string on the head and on the butt and on the legs. So now we're going to attach these pieces to at the end of the long piece, we're going to attach the string where the head is. And you may have to, adjust things a little here and there to make sure everything hangs properly. You're going to find probably that the string on the legs is going to be a little bit longer than that on the head and the main part of the body. And what you can do is you can, once you start tying the string in place, you're going to have to adjust it a little. You'll have to have the T-Rex hang a little bit more so you can see so that the legs hang correctly and that the body hangs correctly. So you're going to have to do a little adjusting on your own. You're going to have to figure all that stuff out. And you can just use tape to hold everything in place or whatever. See what I'm doing here is just adding some more tape on top of some of these pieces so everything sticks in place. So this is just like masking tape. Also putting tape on the ends over the string just to make sure it all stays in place so it doesn't go anywhere. We don't want that going anywhere. So this is just holding all of our string in place. There we go. And now we're going to take 2 quarters and we're going to slip them inside the foot. And the reason why we're going to do this is we want to make sure that they're heavy enough so that the legs just don't flop everywhere. So we've got to have some weights. So they're just going to stick those right in there. Now we're cutting off the extra string, if we have extra string hanging. Let's stand him up. Whoa, look at that T-Rex. You want to make sure that when you're making him, that those legs are hanging properly. So like I said, you're going to probably have shorter string on the neck and the waist, and then the legs are going to be a little longer. But look at us. We are making our T-Rex skeleton walk around. Ooh, that'd be pretty scary. What was that movie? Night at the Museum. But I love puppets, and I love making marionettes. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So it moves, it opens its jaw, you can make it thump around. Man, this was a really cool paper craft. Dinosaur Month is awesome, right? Look at that. Oh, wow, that is so fun. And we made sure that the dinosaur skeleton is pretty close to the way dinosaurs are, so we didn't want to, have the wrong kind of skeleton. Look at that. Oh my God, that's so cool. Well, how'd you like it? Did you like making this T-Rex? Look at it. He's so cool. This is so great. So I hope you've enjoyed today. Hey, on your way out, could you do me a favor, please? Could you hit that like button and click subscribe down below? It helps with the YouTube algorithm, and it gets these videos out there. Feel free to comment below. Let me know what you've got ideas. Do you have any ideas for future crafts? Maybe. I've got a couple. Hey, listen, I love your feedback, so comment below and let me know if you've got ideas. I'm open to them. Even yours, Rexy. Everything I do here on YouTube is thanks to you. So I love you guys. This is Matthew Reinhardt saying, be kind to a stranger, think creatively, and keep it poppin'. Thanks, Rexy. See you next time. Oh, happy Dinosaur Month.